Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper. This is another video on King Arthur Legends Rise. For those of you who watch this channel for Watcher of Realms, we are making this into a mobile gaming channel, not just Watcher of Realms. I want to insulate this channel from being just Watcher's content, and I hope you guys are okay with that. If you don't want to watch this, that's fine. If you do, here it is. We're going to be putting different mobile games on this channel, though it'll still be Watcher's content as much and as often as I get that in. I will have a video for you guys tomorrow for Watcher's content, but today we're going to do the, I believe, 1 month, just over 1 month, I think 5 weeks of King Arthur, and just a recap of what's going on, kind of how I feel about the game and how much I'm liking it. I do like the game. I do find that the addictive appeal, the FOMO and all that stuff is a lot lesser in this game, and I think that makes it easier to play on a more casual, on a more free-to-play level. I did spend early into this game, and yet I haven't really felt like spending. I haven't felt the need to spend of late, and I think that's because the biggest FOMO is in here. And when you pull and you summon and you get what you want, and that's great, but the reality is they don't have the number of champions in this that they would in other areas. And much like all other gacha games I've ever played, whether it's Netmarble's own 7 Deadly Sins, which got ridiculous, Raid Shadow Legends, if you've ever played that in the high arena, all the PvP content is what I'm getting at. And even in Watcher of Realms, the high-end content is made for those who are spending tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The amount of spend you have to be at the highest level in any of these games is far beyond what the average person's going to do. And so the sooner you get that impact, the sooner you feel that impact on yourself, I think it's the easier it is to step back if you are more a person who likes to spend on these sort of games and say, I don't need to. There's nothing I'm going to do. There's nothing I'm going to spend. There's nothing that's going to make it that much better. And I just want to mention that. Learn from my mistake. If I could turn back time, I wouldn't spend a dime on this game. Not because I couldn't afford to spend a dime on this game. It's because that money is expending money. That's my spend money. I could use it elsewhere. I could use it on my wife. I could use it on vacations that were going on. I could use it in other games. But I didn't need to use it here, and I really feel that now. That said, it did give me a leapfrog. It did give me a good head start. And we have a lot of champions that are now kind of in that ready build. You can see here we've got several champions now that are fully awakened, fully leveled, and we're working on their skills. I kind of have a lot better grasp of the skill set and what I'm trying to achieve with each champion, which is something that I don't think I had originally. And so thankfully they have the resets. I did use 2 resets. I have bought 2 more when the monthly came up with, I think they're pretty cheap. They're like 200 gems each maybe. So not too bad, but I do have the opportunity to look back and on some of these champions that maybe I'm not using, and I can always reset if need be. But definitely I see a lot of opportunity here. So Morgan is the best champion in the game. She's the most important champion in the game. And she is with all relics. I think all three relics are important in the game. So what you have to remember is that your abilities are layered here. So, for example, this one right here, when attacking, it inflicts defense decrease 2 for 2 turns and damage taken increase 3 for 2 turns on the selected target. So this is one where it's only going to be on the champion you select. But that's only the passive. So, and this is when attacking, not when attacking a particular skill. So that's good. So then when you go to their relic and you see, for example, this one here, recovery disruption, now for 2 turns, because I was able to put enough books to get that extra turn of disruption. And you think of Frozen Plains, which we'll talk about. This has a 2-turn Frozen Plain, plus if you're continuously using the same one, every 2 turns, 3rd turn, obviously, 2-turn cooldown, I'm also going to be able to inflict the decreased defense and the increased damage taken. The flip side, I have Vicious Maelstrom, which puts a 70% independent chance for each hit to inflict defense decrease for 2 turns. And you get it, I've gotten it up to 2 turns, and I actually have a rate up of 20%. So that's 90% total. So it's something to keep in mind. Now, her A2 has this ability to put decreased defense on each champion, each enemy that you're fighting, as well as it still gets this passive ability to get the decreased defense on this one. So I can put a second one on whoever I target, plus multiple ones on each individual target, right? So it's 2 times and it's an independent chance. That means both opportunities. So you can put 0 up to 3 on a champion depending on the cycle. Also, this is skill 2. So that passive also should be proccing, which has a chance to reduce the attack gauge. So even though this is her, in this case, her green relic or her storm relic, you still have that chance on that 2-turn cooldown to still manipulate the attack gauge and remove 2 buffs from each enemy. When you start getting a grasp of how these all interact, by the way, there's also here, which when her HP is lower, there's a bunch of stuff. That one is a good skill, but it's not one that we have to talk about here. And that's what I mean by learning the synergies of this game. Now, if I go to the relics, keeping in mind those passives that are always there, and I switch over to her storm relic, and you see this has a chance to improve one ally's attack gauge by 70%, plus it gives each ally attack increase 2 for a turn, plus it gives a 12% shield max of HP for 3 turns. 100% independent chance. Would love to get another skill in there at some point, though that's gravy. I don't need it right now, so that's why we haven't gone for it, because it'll be a 2-turn increased attack. Now that's nice. On top of that, you have her passive 3, which is still going to try to put that increased damage taken and that decreased defense. So that's really nice. And then this one here has attacks all enemies 3 times. Independent chance for the second hit to remove a buff. Independent chance for the last hit to do damage taken increase 2 for 3 turns. As well as, once again, all the other stuff that goes along with this. It goes the passive, her passive 3, which is on any skill as long as it's not on cooldown, plus her 2, which is a manipulation of turn meter. And then of course you go to her fire relic, and the fire relic, which I didn't land the nicest here, but you've got this recovery disruption for 1 turn, and you've got this attack gauge 10% with each attack, and then there's one here, and we're still trying to get this second one here to get that full 30% attack gauge per, which would make her broken once you get that finished. So, and it's 60%. Sorry, it's not a 10% increase on each one. It's an 10% increase to land, so 80% on each. So putting the 2 together is a real intricate need, and it's something you have to pay attention to, as well as, of course, getting the skills up, which gives you more abilities and more HP and more defense on your champion. So you have to worry about awakenings, of course, and levels. I'm almost leveled there. So when you put that all together, it's a pretty intricate build. And unlike Raid Shadow Legends, for example, when the skill tomes have these attack increase, where 90% of the champions, those attack increases are garbage, not so much here. When we take a look at the Frost relic for Bedivere, hardest hitting champion in the game, you can see that when you put these in, that's not insignificant damage. It is doing 140% attack, deals an additional one of 168, plus that 14 will be 154, and then you go here, and that's going to be 168, 78, 88, 98, 202, 210. So that's a significant amount of damage for a single skill. He's got an AoE, right? Attacks all enemies. But keep in mind, he's got passives as well. And you have to keep all of these in mind, these passives here. When using skill 3, when inflicted with a debuff, has a 100% chance to convert the debuff to... I can't believe it's a debuff. To critical strike damage increase lasting 3 turns. So we just blindly spam his A2, but man, if you have a debuff on you that's preventing you from doing something, why wouldn't you use this? He charges the vigor by 2. He increases. He changes one debuff to critical strike damage increase 2 for 3 turns, and it's got a 3-turn cooldown. It's a 2-turn cooldown when it's fully booked. And on top of that, then you go back to his A2. This one, 100% chance to trigger upon critical strike. This doesn't even say, it just says he's got 100%, it's a passive chance to trigger upon critical strike. So if you get a critical strike, 100% chance to reduce all of the heroes' passive cooldowns by 1. So you've got all these cooldowns, and they just decrease. And he gets Pierce increase for 1 turn. And I have that down to a 1-turn cooldown and 100% activation rate on all of them. That's a monstrous, right? So, yeah, you can use the skill 3. His skill 2 is great. And then you have this when attacking, and this is any time. Attacks 1 time, hitting 1 random enemy or enemies for 100, and this ignores 20% defense. So it's a nice hit, even though A1s typically hit for less. So I think that's one of the biggest things I learned in this game, is to really focus on what I'm trying to accomplish and then finding the champion skill combination that's going to accomplish that. A lot of people bring, for example, in Frozen Plains, a lot of people bring in Acalon, that person. And the reality is I don't have to, because I was able to focus on getting the proper skill ups on this one here, which allows me to have that 2-turn heal disruption, and it's an 80% independent chance. So you're hitting twice. It's going to land. And if it's 2 turns, it's going to do everything you need for Frozen Plains, making this amazing. And on top of that, you're getting all those debuff chances. And then if you're manualing something, then you can go back to this one, because this actually has additional chances for that decreased defense and that chance to manipulate turn meter once every 3 turns. So I think that's the biggest thing I learned. And I just thought I'd start this off with a 12-minute ramble about that, because this game is really intricate, and it really forces you to focus on what you're trying to accomplish, as opposed to just put in your 4 best champions. And I like that about it. We did work on Cormac a lot. Cormac's another one where I really feel like, look at the amount of attack damage this increases with skill ups. That's obscene. And so I didn't even look at that at first. In fact, to the point where I might look at some of my other rare champions that I put skill ups in, and I probably would. It's a relic. Can you even reset relics? No. And on top of that, he's got this 90% chance to trigger a heal all allies of his defense with a cooldown of -1. And then we can get a defense recovery plus 1%, so 18.9. So, I mean, all beautiful. Just keep in mind what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. So I have gotten up to, you can see we have a bunch of champions built up. Some of them are no longer using. You can see the ones that are 2 and 3 star. We focused heavily on the champions we were using, like Sarah. We use her in several places. I kind of stopped building Anguish. He's where I need him to be for the area I use him for, which is Gorgo. That's his name, right? As well as Jarrett. Jarrett was pretty easy because, being an uncommon, getting his star ups and everything is pretty good. I did book him to get 100% of this attack gauge charge, which just helps, us cycle through a lot easier and a lot better. I haven't really worried about this. Max use is -9, so he inflicts carelessness on himself for the rest of the battle. But he can only use it once, so I think if you cleanse it or whatever, maybe it never happens again. I haven't really used him anywhere else. I know he's going to be good in certain other areas, so it's good that we have that ability. I started working on Merlin. I was working on Gawain, and he's a person that I might kill. I might reset. I don't find use for him. I think Cormac's just better than he is where it needs to be, especially in synergy, because everything around this guy needs to be day, and I use Morgan literally everywhere, and she needs night. So they're really conflicting against each other. I'm sure at some point we can come back to him, but I just feel like maybe the resources I put into him might be better used elsewhere. For example, I'm starting to regret not having my lot built up, stuff like that. So that's a thought. Use her everywhere. We're actively working on her as well. We just need one more star. She's in the queue, the star queue, as is finally I have Sergius with his flame relic. And that's made all the difference there. It's helped me progress considerably. I don't use Clarison. I only use Lancelot in PvP as a speed lead. I don't really use Gillian, though there are certain areas I'm starting to try to use her in. Obviously, I've put some skills into her. Haven't really done much with her relic, but that's something we want to do. I do have 2 of her relics. I have the Fire and Frost. Do not have the Storm yet. So we do use Rosier. We've tried to do 2 equipment builds. I have to relook at this one. I was just planning on playing around. One of them is really just to land her dots. This one is more for the damage aspect with her flame relic. So we're still working on that. Hopefully we can get that. Plus I still need 1 more star in her. Guinevere, we stopped building. We stopped creating. I wish I could take some books out of her, but I do use her. I use her specifically for Craig. Crumbs Craig, I think is. I don't know. I'm not Gaelic. But she's good there. She's useful there. I don't think she really needs anything else. I really just A1 her for vigor boost and the chance to have this damage dealt decrease for 1 turn. It's really, it really doesn't do a whole lot. I know she's got useful passes and stuff, but I don't think I need to put anything into her for that. So that's where we are with her. We did use Kay a lot. We still bring her into arena quite often. We use her in Penvid. I kind of stopped using her in Hell. I've switched her with Cormac because Cormac just does more consistent, stronger AoE damage. But she's still used. I still like it. Sigrun, don't use her anymore. I don't even use her. I'm pretty sure I have to somewhere, but I don't. And we'll talk about that. I don't think I do. Maybe I do in one of the equipment dungeons, but we'll take a look at that. I stopped doing anything. Again, here's a case. Like, I put books in. Probably didn't need to. He's Penvid. I don't really use him anywhere else. Cormac, he's a wave clearer, so I like using him a lot in. I haven't finished Hell story mode, or not story mode, but you know what I mean, campaign. So I'm slowly using him to try to 3-star stuff, and he's one of the mainstays. Ein is not how you say her. Annie? I don't remember. I watched someone do a video on it. We're pronouncing her name wrong, but whatever. I'm gonna call her Ein because I can't remember. Maybe we should call her Annie. Hey, Annie. She is goated. I love using her in areas where I'm struggling a bit, like the tower, the Forgotten Dungeon, and of course in PvP. Best hitter in the game. I shouldn't have to explain you use him just whatever. And best champion in the game. Shouldn't have to explain you use her everywhere. So there we are with champions. You can see I'm slowly building up the castle as we continue to play. As far as restricted areas, we're doing okay. We're 10 here, we're 10 here, we're 10 here. We're struggling here, and I think it's just starting speeds because we have the champions for it. We just don't have this. I think I just need some more speed on this, and maybe especially on Sergius. What's his speed at? 195, and I think I'm 242 with Morgan. But it seems like I get my butt whooped on this one. So let me know in the comments down below if you know what the case could be. I know I'm using I don't know why. I guess I could be using her flame relic. I feel like there's a reason why it's frost relic, but definitely his frost relic just because of the damage. I could use this, but it just doesn't do enough damage or as much damage, so it would take longer. Let me know. I don't know because I'm struggling on this. One of the ones I'm struggling on. As far as equipment dungeons, many thanks to Scratch, we were able to get Yaskelhag's 10. Pretty easy, consistent farm here. That's using Sarah's got the buff disruption. We've got good heals here. He's fire affinity, so we're not using her green wand, though I like her green wand better. Her A2 AoE is banger in many circumstances, but this keeps us plenty healed. And then we've got some good debuffs here. We use the frost one again for the affinity. We don't want to use we could use fire, I guess, but I don't believe he's allowed. You can turn meter him, so this is just putting debuffs down using the A2. And of course this is where Belvedere is like, give me a fire champion to fight against. Absolutely, he smacks. Other than that, I am struggling a bit in Apolea and Arcellus. I think I'm on 9s on both, and I can't get past 10. This is the current team I'm using. Frost, so I could use her green. Actually, I'm not sure why I'm not. But I use his green because he gets killed. He just even though it's neutral, it still does poorly. Maybe I'll have to switch that back. I think the problem is here, and I think I need because her remove abnormal status. I think both these guys, the remove abnormal status is behind a skill wall. If I'm not, maybe I'm incorrect there, or behind a different relic. So maybe I have to revisit this with Gillian. But so far we've been having some real difficulties with getting through that. And then same with here. I did pass it once. It took 20 minutes. I can't farm it. So again, if I can't farm it, it kind of makes it a little less useful. And I would love to because this is really some of the stuff I need to forge. So those are the areas that is kind of my current focus. Clan Raid, level 25. I went into Tarask and got wiped. Like, I literally... Does it show here? Oh, it doesn't show... Because he's level 131. So he's well beyond. It doesn't show... It doesn't show past runs. That's too bad. It was actually pretty funny. I just got straight wiped by him. Penvid, I did a little better, but not a whole lot. To be oh, here. I did 51,000. Well, look at you, Atreus, doing damage. I got wiped. Now, again, this was my second team because I used my first team in Tarask thinking, oh, I'll come into Tarask. I'll do some damage. Nah, I should have brought that A team into Penvid. But you see here, I did 2,739. I just, look at, they're all, like we walked in and just got straight smacked. Yaskelheg probably would have been easier. I probably should have went there. Even then, you see the guys are, like, Irish is only 136 with a pretty dope team. This is where I used to use Sigrid, is in Yaskelheg, by the way. And I took her out for that other team. The other team's more consistent. Thank you again, Scratch. So that's where we are with Clan Raid. I'm pretty happy. Level 25, I think it's pretty good. Forbidden Dungeon, I know there's a key to doing 92. I don't have anyone that has consistent lockouts. If I get enough books into Morgan, she's got a 2-turn sleep. Here's the problem. Even on the 1-turn sleep, when I land it and I play with and manipulate, I need someone other than Bedivere, which just hurts my soul to say, because he'll double hit anytime I have 3 people sleep, and he'll kill the one, he'll wake someone else, and then they'll revive, and then boo. So I need some kind of consistent freeze or something where he can hit everyone all he wants. And I know that I believe Merlin has a freeze, so maybe we're gonna have to look at Merlin. We've been building him anyway, so I still have time. I have 17 days, but for now I've just kind of been held on 91 until I can get enough resources up to build Merlin to where he needs to be to help me there. If there's anyone else that you would use, any other lockout champions that can do AoE lockout with consistency, let me know in the comments down below. So that is Forbidden Dungeon. Favorite dungeons, I'm on 9s on just about every one of them. Haven't really tried pushing that hard. I think one of them I'm on 10. I'm not too worried about it. They're fun. And Sealed Temple, we can do 10s on both, I believe. I currently am really focusing here on the books. I have it on 10. It's fine. It's 99% success. Here, I'm not on 10. I'll have to push 10. It's been a long time. I've just been focusing on relics so hard lately that I haven't even worried about skilling up passives and therefore needing to go back to the Master of Death. But I'll look at that again. I'm sure I got something, especially now. I feel like that's where one of the areas where what's his name, the bald-headed dude comes in, the turn meter boost guy. I think I need him here, and I think I have him here now, and I haven't tried him. See, this is the team I was using. I feel like that turn meter. Oh, maybe it's the remove abnormal. Maybe that's what's getting me. So again, Gillian will be one that we'll have to take a look. I have Ain in here, but she doesn't. It's a bit of a misnomer because she grants one random ally for 1 turn, and there's no way to boost that to 2 turns. That's hardly manipulation of And I don't think it's anywhere on her passives. Like if you're worried, if you're betting on a random chance for something to happen to win, that's not good. This does the same thing, random ally. Yeah, see, one independent chance to remove abnormal status from each ally, 100%. Independent to remove one debuff, and speed increase. That's what we need. That's right there. And then it has 2 statuses. You can get it up in 2 debuffs, 3 debuffs if you get. So really, we need her fire relic for her abnormal. Look at that, and immunity for teacher. So it's her fire relic. We just need Annie's. Annie. I don't know what we're going. I want to call her Ein, but I'm telling you that's not what we're supposed to do. Ain? I don't know. Whatever. Let me know. So either we got to get her fire relic, or we got to figure out how to use Jillian, or maybe there's a different. Let me know in the comments down below. Again, 10. What's the best answer here? Okay, that's where we are with all the dungeons. I think that's everywhere that we really need to talk about. As far as how am I enjoying the game, absolutely. I like that I can take about an hour again. I just go through the dailies, and then once a week, I would say, maybe a couple times a week, I'll really look at heroes and I'll go, okay, I know that I'm working on Morgan here. I know that I'm working on trying to get her sleep turns to 2, for example. I'm not, because I just don't think this is the right answer, because Bedivere is mentally incapable of not waking someone. You can't hit the same guy unless I don't need him to. Anyway, I digress. So, I guess the next question is, okay, so if we want to get past the Forbidden Dungeon, the next person we should be looking at focusing on is Merlin, because we know Merlin has a freeze. Where is that freeze? It's right here. The freeze rate plus 20% chance. That's a 55% chance. Yeah, we can probably survive the fight until we can freeze him there. I know we have a single freeze here. Doesn't have a multi-turn. That's kind of cool if it's daytime, but I don't think there's anything here. So we're going to have to... So that's what we do. So we don't really focus on anything to do with champions. We just do our dailies. We just do our thing. And then a couple times a week, I turn around and I really look and focus and go, so what am I trying to... Where am I trying to improve? Where am I trying to increase what I'm doing? And that's kind of how we've been pushing it. This I hate, and I refuse to do it. It's the sneaky thingy. I am mentally inept, and I can't sneaky past the guys. I used to be able to. I need a controller. I can't do it with the mouse. I'm old. I need an Xbox. So eventually I'll go back there and I'll just man up and do it. But it's frustrating because I keep running into a guy, or I click the barrel, but apparently I didn't click the barrel, and I just get caught, and then I have to start all over again. And if you know, you know. If you don't, forget it. But if you do know, it's a pain in the butt. Where else do we need to talk about? Campaign story, the main story. We've been slugging through it. We haven't really been hard pushing. We have everything else 3-starred, I think. Hell, hard, I'm pretty sure 36, 36. Normal. Yeah. So we have, and then in hell, we're obviously, what is 30? Oh. I don't even understand what that means. Does that mean I've done it on 3 levels that way, vertically? I don't know. That's weird. So we're here. And like we just push through. Sometimes we just do it with our team, and then sometimes I try to get that 3rd star. We'll probably push this a little bit more. We still obviously have a bunch of chapters to go. See how far we can push it. I'm sure we can do a lot better. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I pushed it. Coliseum. We have yet to hit plat. We hit gold 1. I'm not excited with this mode, to be honest. I think she's broken. The 100% evade is ridiculous, and I hate it. So, and then, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. PvP hasn't appealed to me in any of the games I play, so I don't know why I'd be shocked that I'm not in this one. I do put in enough work to get some coins, but now that I have Sergius, I'm a little less pressed to do it. So, anyway, that's the update on it. As far as how I like the game, I do like the game. I do recommend the game. I've heard some people say it's way better than Raid. It's way better than anything else out there. I would actually disagree with that. Under the guise of two things. First of all, I know Netmarble. I played Netmarble game, played Seven Deadly Sins, and it felt the same until it didn't. And I am very wary of Netmarble's year into the game. Suddenly things get very pay-to-winny. And I mean, in that game, cosmetics became obscene, and they were expensive, and you had to keep buying them just to even compete. And they would come out with a new champion, which would be the new meta every month, and then you had to get and it was just a nightmare. That thankfully I didn't get too wrapped up in as far as the spend in that game, and I can see that happening here with relics or with new exclusives, those sort of things. If they start putting cosmetics into this game, those sort of things, and just the pack pricing here. As I pick one that's probably actually decent value if you're looking for it. I would see none of this appeals to spend. Which is probably a good thing, I guess. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I think the appeal that Raid has over this is that there's so much. First of all, the whales are so much in a stratosphere that you'll never achieve unless you are a crown prince, and so I don't feel the need to compete with them anymore. It's really just, can I make content? Can I build Raid? And I do like the fact that there's lots of different areas to play the game. There's lots of different focuses. My biggest complaint about Raid is that there's almost too much as far as time goes. There's too many long fights. There's too many 20-minute fights. But as far as the breadth of different opportunities that Raid has to play, I don't think they're doing too badly. I think their collabs are banger. And that's part of the reason why coming back, I'm feeling pretty good, because I missed the He-Man one, which is too bad, but this Alice, Into the Looking Glass, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, I'm sure they can dip into. Any of these ones that are public domain now, they can absolutely put into the game as free IPs, and it's awesome. We'll see what that happens here. I think the shortened hero, I think this is my biggest complaint about the game. There's a very small hero pool, relatively speaking. And because of that, I feel like there's very narrow ways to complete things. There's a few, maybe 1 or 2, 3 sort of meta ways. And if you have strong enough gear, maybe there's a 4th, or those sort of things. And I feel like one of the things that draws me back to Raid, even after 6 years, is that there's 100 ways to do a lot of these things. There's no cookie cutter for anything but PvP. And even PvP, the cookie cutter is the style, the meta, but the number of champions that can fit in within that meta are much bigger than these other games. I think that's its strength, and I think that's probably the weakness so far in this game, is that I feel like when I go into Red Yaskelheg, there's 2-3 comps to do 10. And if you don't have those champions, those speeds, those skill, you're screwed. There's not 10 ways to do it. There's 3 or less sometimes. So I would say that's probably my biggest complaint. But overall, I do enjoy the game. I think the look of the game is beautiful. So why don't we finish this off as a big review, but as always, I like to pay off. We don't have any raid up summons, but we do have special summons. So we're guaranteed a legendary. We'll do this. And then I actually have 10 of the relic summons as well, so we're going to do that. So let's do that for you at the end of this video, just as a thank you for watching. Click that. Oh, we got legendary. We don't even have to pull all of them. Well, there you go. Look at that, beautiful. Who do we get? Vengeance only begets more vengeance, which is Morgan. I've pulled more Morgans than anyone, and that is awesome because she's the best champion. I think that's my A8, or my Chivalry 8. That is a big deal. So you can see here, I don't need any more of her, don't need any more of Arthur, but I did get another Ralph, I believe that is. And of course, Morgan is indeed 8, so that's cool. We'll pull the other 20 for you. Just, I said I would. Okay, that's just a straight up pull. Asalon? I don't know what her name is. I truly don't. I don't even recognize her from the lore. Okay. Ooh, that was a bad one. But we did get our A10. So there you go. And let's now go over to the Flame Relic. I don't even know what I need, but I need stuff. So just give me stuff. And I still need lots of rare ones. And we always want to have all the relics. You never know when a relic becomes important. So we can see we got nothing. We got her Flame Relic. Boo. We already have her Flame Relic. All right, let's try the Frosties. If I recall, most of the best relics are in the Frostscape. I really wanted the Fire Relic for Ain, now that I know that's what I need. Ane. Okay, we got 2. Any of them what we need? Hey, we got one. We got one right there. Let's open it up. Yes, there we go. On an uncommon. Well, that's to be honest, that's how the relics crumble. I've had very few good pulls, but I've somehow managed between the shop and there scrounge my way to a couple of good ones. So with that's all we have for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the recap is satisfying. If you want to play the game, let me know. I live stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all gotcha games. But if you come on and you're like, hey, let's take a look at your account in King Arthur, I would love to do that on the videos. 9 a.m. again, Saturday, Sunday, Fridays at 6 p.m. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Please be kind, be safe. We'll see you in the next video.